Hi everyone, this is Gaurav. Welcome to our learning channel. So today, in this video, we would like to get you started with your journey for learning data science. And as a first milestone, we would like to get some basic understanding of know-how of Python. And as a part of this playlist, first of all, we would like to make some game plan of how do we get there, and then followed by we will have detailed videos for each of the individual topics. But before we get started, just want to make sure that we are setting up some of the key guiding principles. A few of the important things to keep in mind, given we are just getting started with the journey, is that first of all, it's never too late. Your race will literally begin when you actually pull the trigger, when you get started. So in the modern day and age, organizations don't really care about your age as much as much of the fact that they care about, can you get things done or not? Do you have the right skill sets to solve the problem that they're trying to solve for? So no matter which age group you are at, 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, or even afterwards, it's important that you know why you are doing this, and what is going to be your winning or the success for you. And always keep those things in mind, because as you get started, few of the things will happen is that after first initial few weeks or few days, that romance or that fascination of the topic will probably fade away, and you will not be very curious about some of the things that you think is kind of important for that topic. But what will kind of keep you pushing forward is your discipline and the fact that you are very much married to your final goal. So let's say that if you're working in a particular industry and you would like to get started as a data scientist, or you would like to explore more, or you build your career as a data scientist, think of it that where do you want to be if you get the opportunity in like 4, 5, 6 or 10 years. And always have that picture in your mind when you're going through this journey, because the starting of anything is going to be difficult, but as you move forward, it will get easier and easier. The next thing is that do focus a lot on consistency and the practice. So I've just put a small calculation on the screen. You can see that this 1.01 to the power 365. What it means is that, let's say you make 1% progress every day, then by end of the year you will be 37 times better as compared to where you started. That's like 3700% increase. Or if you forget a tiny bit every day, which is what will happen if you don't carve out time every day, then you will be left with just 2.5% of what you started with. So choice is yours. I mean, either you kind of carve out a little bit of a time every day, make a tiny bit of a progress, or you don't do that, in which case you will have a very less skill at the end of the year. Always try to push yourself, finding out the real life application of what you are learning. That will definitely help you sell yourself whenever you are going into the interviews, or even for that matter, your promotions, etc. Mingle with like-minded people. Thanks to internet and social media, you now have access to a ton of people who are doing good in this area. So always seek their guidance. Feel free to reach out to me as well. I'll provide you guidance as much as I can. So in the next few slides, what I've done is that I've tried making a game plan for 4 weeks game plan for getting a good introductory knowledge of Python. You can just stick to the game plan given here, or what you can do is that you can just take a look at all the different key things that you would have to learn. You can learn everything in like first few week itself, and then give yourself a few weeks to kind of practice through things. Different people have their different learning regimes, so I don't want you to kind of stick to this thing. But one thing is for sure, that don't give yourself more than 4 weeks, because I think 4 weeks is like good than enough. More than enough time to kind of get started on Python. And then afterwards, we will learn more of stats and the mathematics, and then kind of combine everything together. First thing first, for week 1, you should set up the environment. When I say setting up the environment, it's not necessarily just installing the software, but it's also setting up a place in your house where you can focus on studying for at least 1 hour every day. And you pick that time, that could be 8 p.m. or 9 p.m. And so that you don't have distractions. And whenever you are kind of studying, then make sure that you don't have phone in front of you, because that's probably one of the biggest distraction. Then we move towards learning through some of the basic things, your hello world code, where you print the hello world on the screen. all things that you are going to be learning, make sure that you keep on learning about some of the keyboard shortcuts. Those are going to be very handy and important. Two things: one, it does make you more efficient, and second, it does make you look a little bit cooler. I'm just kidding about that. Then we learn about data types, so strings, integer, floats. I mean, these are some of the basic data types. I'm pretty sure that if you have done any kind of a computer coding in the past, or any kind of a courses that you might have taken, then you would know these things already. But I'll make some videos, so that could be a good refresher for you. The next topic is list, set, array, dictionary, and some of the similar topics like lambda, how to process these things. This is going to be very important topic. You should definitely pay special attention to this. I'll make videos, detailed videos on this, but the important thing here is going to be to kind of understand and visualize why we are doing these things, because these are some of the things that you'll be using again and again in your data science journey. Then you will have lots of different inbuilt functions and things like loops and conditionals. Loops and conditional is basically your if then else conditions, do while condition, etc., etc. Right? So we'll go through that as well as we progress in this playlist. Some of these things could be a very much repetition of some of the earlier work that you might have done in the computer science. But if you don't have any experience, even in that case, there is absolutely nothing to be worried about. We will start from absolute zero. For week 2, we will focus on pandas, and this is where I think my channel will digress a little bit from some of the other channels that you might have seen on internet. And the reason behind is that we are solely going to focus on the data science aspect of Python. And when you are kind of focusing on that, then pandas definitely comes in very handy. It does make your life very much easier, a lot more easier if you have to handle the small amount of data, especially doing the data aggregation, the merges, those kind of a thing becomes much easier if you're using pandas. So we will definitely have a few of the training sessions on that, and then we will move towards data visualization. So some of the things that we'll focus on, like Seaborn and Matplotlib, you don't necessarily have to use just these things. You can probably increase your horizon as well. But a few other things I do want to quickly call out is that we don't have to spend a whole lot of time here, because in the work environment, in the corporate environment, you will see that to some extent, all of your results will be showcased as a part of PowerPoint, the final product. And you will probably convert them in PDF before you showcase those to your leadership. So one other thing is that when you're doing that, PowerPoint or Excel itself does give you a whole lot of flexibility in terms of how to visualize the data. So you don't necessarily have to spend a whole lot of time, learning through Matplotlib or Seaborn, but it does kind of make your life much easier if you have a solid command on these. So I would definitely recommend learning them. But if it is not coming very naturally and you cannot go through it quickly enough, then it's totally fine to kind of skip some of these topics. And then afterwards, we move towards trying out our learnings in the real life problem. Everyone is aware of LeetCode, and everyone is aware of HackerRank and things like that. So definitely make sure that you are doing a ton of practice, because practice is the only thing that will get you to the next level. Then you move towards week 3. Here we are going to learn about functions. It's very important that you understand functions very well and try using it in your day-to-day. Because whenever you're trying to automate, let's say you're creating a report, or let's say you're creating some sort of a variable creation logic that you want to get refreshed every week or every day, then it'll be important to make some of the production ready codes, and functions definitely help you get there. A little bit more advanced topic is going to be object-oriented programming. We will make videos here as well, but it's not going to be very critical to understand them in the initial stages itself. So if you get overwhelmed at this point in time, you can skip this, but you can come back once you have a little bit more confidence in overall coding. Then we move towards the week 4, and this is where we will put the good foundation of your predictive analytics and scientific calculations. NumPy and sklearn definitely gives you a good starting point. NumPy will have a comprehensive set of mathematical functions that you can use it, so it does make your life much easier as compared to coding some of these things yourself. sklearn will also give you a whole lot of packages that you can use for things like dimensionality reduction. You can do regression, clustering, etc. However, you'll see that world has moved much more advanced than just simply sklearn. So we will try out a lot of new things as well, but some of those advanced topics we can table it for the time being, but rather we can focus on solving some of the real life problem. And once we feel more confident, then we can come back and sort of learn more of the advanced topics. For advanced topics, we can, like, once we have like a good understanding of the stats or the mathematics behind some of the techniques, then we'll come back, and once we understand what is, deep learning, what is neural network, what are some of its application, we'll come back and we'll try implementing it. We will try to kind of fit some of the curve on using the different frameworks that is available. You have TensorFlow, Caffe, PyTorch, etc. So we'll definitely be looking at those as things as well. Important thing is going to be everything that you are doing, just trying out these things in your real life application. And Kaggle, I think, in my mind, definitely provides you a good spot to get like a good handle. Sorry, Kaggle definitely provides you a good place where you have the problem, the data, and a good solution, all three at the same place. So that's definitely be a good place to kind of refer. But I would say that consult your friends as well who are working in the industry. Consult me. I can definitely provide you some of the real life applications and the problems as well. Another thing is that writing some of the supervised and unsupervised learning algorithms yourself. This is a little bit of counterintuitive. Not everyone is going to recommend you, but I definitely think that it does help if you try doing some of these things yourself. So I'll give you an example. Let's say that if I give you a problem to fit a simple classifier, could be a logistic regression. Once you are through the initial journey, it might probably take you 10-15 minutes to kind of fit simple classifier. However, if I take away that package that is available in Python, then you might struggle. And the reason behind is that we are kind of so used to using these packages that we don't necessarily always look at the mathematics or the calculation that happens in the background. So at least trying out some of these things and coding some of these things yourself, at least for once, will definitely build that confidence, and also taking a look at how these things happen in the real life. Again, not necessary at all, but this is something which will probably be good if you are kind of very passionate in this topic. And then once we are done with this, then we'll move towards things like PySpark, Scala, MapReducer. And again, some of these things are kind of not needed as a starter. I would say PySpark is probably one of the good things that you should definitely learn. But again, not as a beginner. Give yourself a little bit of a time, try solving some of the real life problem, and then afterwards I will come to this. So that's pretty much it for today. Please be on a lookout for more videos that will be coming as a part of this playlist, and please do like and subscribe as well.